Recently, someone sent me this little illustrated version of myself. It was really cool. It was this old school comic book style, which I love. I showed it to a friend of mine and she was like, it's super cute, but I don't think someone made it. I think it's AI generated because, you see all those AI images everywhere now. They're a trend. And the fact that we couldn't agree on whether this person made it or not is exactly what I want to talk about today. Okay, so there's this AI trend currently happening, right? And first of all, kudos to me. I never know what's going on, but now I do know. And not only do I know, I have a thing to say about it. I saw some beautiful imagery. Some pictures were absolutely stunning. They were gorgeous. But my whole take on it is even if I did use the app, it's not me. Those images aren't me. They have in essence nothing to do with me. They're basically just a simulacra of me. And of course, you could argue that taking pictures of yourself and photoshopping pictures of yourself is the same thing, but I would argue it isn't. Pictures are a snapshot of an actual moment in time. Even if you do Photoshop pictures, it doesn't take away the fact that in that picture you existed at a specific place at a specific time. It requires embodiment. And sure, you could say posing for a painting is kind of the same thing, but you have to actually be observed for someone to paint you. And even if someone paints from a picture, they have to observe the essence of you. You know, that important thing that actual artists do capture, and the thing that was what made portraiture interesting in the first place. But meanwhile, these AI images have nothing to do with us. It's not based on observation. AI doesn't actually see us, it just sees a cloud of vectors. Us without our essence, basically. These pictures exist outside of space, time, and even our own physicality. I saw that the thing poses you in certain ways. So it kind of gives me that idea of your human form being controlled like a little marionette. And because these images have so little to do with us, my opinion is that people showing these pictures off like they had something to do with it is the weirdest form of self-flattery I've seen in a while. I don't want to be a doomsday prophet. I don't want to sit here and pretend that it's all bad because that would be very myopic. I think these pictures are very useful as reference pictures. And some of the images I've seen, I'm sure they will inspire some bomb-ass photo shoots. I think really cool things can come from it. But I still don't think it makes the technology worth it because AI can't do anything without being fed information. And where do you think all this information comes from, of these different styles and, of these images? Well, it has to come from somewhere, right? So basically, for all these beautiful images to be possible, this AI has to leech off of existing artwork and effectively and arguably turn it into the most soulless version of itself. This machine has so much to work with. Nowadays, it's hard to have any business without social media, and for artists, it's kind of their online profile. And this AI can use all of this information to its heart's desire. It can do whatever it wants with it. What this AI does is it takes all this information of all these artist profiles and just kind of bunches them up together and reduces them to the most rudimentary form of itself. That's basically what it does. Because like I said, it can't create anything out of nothing. It can't create. It doesn't have the ability to create like we do. But it is really good at reproducing. Also, what I thought was interesting is that I saw a couple of pictures of people showing that the artist's signature was still visible in the corner. And they look like they've been put through a meat grinder, but spiritually, they have been. I think that's a beautiful metaphor for what's happening to art right now. And it's quite interesting what they can do with that information. They keep it for promotional material. They can use it until the end of time to promote their services. What also happens is that the images that you upload are used to feed this huge AI nonprofit organization and the large-scale artificial intelligence open network, this LEON. And it's a nonprofit organization with the sole purpose of feeding all AI in the world this mass data so that it can become smarter. You're basically helping this AI become better at plagiarism. I guess that when the day comes that we're finally taken over by our computer overlords will look at this and will be like, oh, remember when we thought this was a thing? But no, seriously, like I said in the beginning, the fact that me and my friend could not differentiate between AI generated art and human art is concerning. Like, it has some serious implications. And of course, I've read some opinion pieces and I've heard people say, yeah, but AI art will never trump human art. Says who? Says who? AI is not limited by human factors like moods and a lack of inspiration or a lack of art supplies. There's no reason to believe it couldn't compete with human art. The fact that I have to say human art is so dystopian. Like, that is just that I have to say human art. That's horrible. That makes me feel really bad. Yeah, there's no reason to believe that, people won't choose AI art over working with artists, because AI art does what you want and you don't have to deliberate with it, and you can get your work stat. You can get it in the time a person could never finish a project in. So I think it's hopeful to say that AI art will never replace human art, but I also think it's based on absolutely nothing. Just think about it. All algorithms become smarter than us within minutes. It takes them seconds to collect information we spend decades collecting. Not only that, but where human art is limited by our own frame of reference and life experiences and preferences, AI knows no such limits. We can only access what we know. AI can access everything. So, like I said, I think it's very cute to sit there and say, oh, it will never replace human art. Are you sure? Why wouldn't it be able to out-art us at some point? It's delightfully hopeful to think it can't. And it's funny because I do think that AI's complete lack of limits would not work in other media, music, for example. Because in my opinion, all great works of music are built on human limitations. One of the things that makes music good is our humanity. It's storytelling, and we people have been telling each other stories since the dawn of time, since we had a grip on language. It's a really important part of our humanity, and it's exactly those references and preferences and life experiences that AI could never reproduce. So where I think AI technology is a threat to visual art, I don't think it will ever be a threat to music. Can you imagine what our musical landscape would look like if it was AI generated? It would probably be this vacuous hyper pop fever dream. But I don't think AI will ever outdo musicians in the same way. I read that one of these apps, they said they bring art to the masses, which I think is fucking offensive to artists. I don't even think we should call what this thing creates art. Because isn't the thing that makes art human involvement? Isn't art about our ability to create, our ability to use our imagination to transcend the mundanity of daily existence? It's about us. Art is about us. It's about our ability to communicate our inside world with the outside world in the most authentic way. That's what I think art is. And I'm definitely not saying that what this thing creates is not beautiful, because like I said, I've seen gorgeous things. I've seen really pretty things. And now we know that it's possible to make beautiful things without human involvement. But I refuse to call it art. Anyway, this is an accidental episode because this is just really, I was thinking about it and then I was like, yeah, let me just try to put my thoughts into words because, I just was thinking out loud. It feels good to talk to you instead and kind of have a more aimed approach with my philosophizing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening. And I'm super curious about what you think about AI art. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Anyway, see you in the next one.